What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one I want to talk a little bit about what we're looking like coming out of the bye. Obviously, we've been on top of the AFC for much of the season, and now that's changed now that we had our bye, but there are other teams that have not had a bye yet. Broncos are about to go on their bye week, so that is going to change. The Patriots have a Week 14 bye, and this week really didn't go the way we needed it to at all in terms of being able to stay on top of the AFC, in terms of what was going on in the AFC South, right? We had a video talking earlier last week about kind of what we were looking like, what we were looking like going into the bye, and what was ahead for us, for the AFC South, for the other people in the AFC. And right now, Broncos own the top spot at 9-2 due to their conference record. Patriots are at number 2, and the Colts are now at number 3. 9-2, 9-2, 8-2, and there seems to be a clear separation between those three teams and everybody else that's in the AFC. Now, obviously, the Bills had a big time win. They're at 7-3, but because they're in the Patriots division and because they lost to the Patriots, they are now at number 5. That number 5 seed. Steelers 6-4, Chargers 7-4 after losing to the Jaguars, and the Jaguars at 6-4 after beating the Chargers. So it's an interesting mix-up what we have here. I just expected the Chiefs to be able to beat the Broncos, but the Broncos being able to beat the Chiefs kind of tells me everything I need to know about the confirmation that I have on this year's Chiefs team just not quite being what it has been in the past. And with seemingly Charvarius Ward supposed to be coming back this upcoming week, I would assume, and Sauce Gardner being on the team now, like, I feel good about us going up against the Chiefs and what we're going to be able to do. Now, this is important because the Broncos beat the Chiefs, because the Patriots beat the Jets, right? Because the Bills are still very much in the picture. Like, what the Colts have in front of them is needing to take care of their business. Like, everything will take care of itself if the Colts just continue to take care of business. Come out of the bye week and look like the same team you were from weeks 1 through 8. All right, obviously the Steelers game, things went a little awry, and then the Falcons game wasn't perfect, but that's how a lot of NFL games go. Going to end up being tight, right? You're not going to get blowouts every week like the Colts were doing a lot early in the season, and we have a tough schedule coming up. So with what we're looking at coming out of the bye week, it's really just about being able to handle our business, right? And of course, that starts with the Chiefs, right? And if we can beat the Chiefs, and then you have the Broncos on their bye week, we can jump the Broncos if we get a win just by doing what we're supposed to be able to do. Now, the Patriots, as a lot of people have talked about, Patriots have an incredibly easy schedule. But they do have the Bengals as their next game, and that is in Cincinnati. And the Patriots have looked good going up against that defense. You almost feel like the Patriots are going to put up a bunch of points. The Bengals coming off a not great performance against the Ravens, who've struggled defensively, honestly. But I guess over the last few weeks, the Ravens have got healthier, right? Since their bye week, they've continued to get healthier and seemingly, starting to figure it out. Just like last year, I suppose. Last year, the Ravens, as the year went on, got better defensively. And seems like the Ravens are doing that again. The Bengals have been able to put up a bunch of points, but not this past week, right? And now we're in a situation where, hey, maybe Joe Burrow comes back. Is that likely? I don't know. I heard something that it might be the Bengals' next game after. So what would that be? November 30th, I believe, could be the return date for Joe Burrow. But he was back at practice last week. If he plays against the Patriots, maybe there's a chance, right? But the way the Bengals have looked, you don't feel great about it, right? And then, obviously, the Patriots finally go on their bye week, and then they have the Giants, the Bills again, and hopefully that could be a tough game for the Patriots. Ravens could be a tough game, but then they finish the year with the Jets and the Dolphins. So, and the Dolphins have looked better as of late, so maybe that could be a tougher game. But it's the Dolphins in New England, so probably not. So Patriots have an easy schedule. That's really the big obstacle. And then, of course, going down the stretch, we have 2 games against the Jaguars, and right now we have a 2-game lead because the Chargers couldn't get the job done. right? So Jaguars are sitting at 6-4. We're at 8-2. Texans were able to beat the Titans. Titans can't get the job done. Who could have guessed? They kind of had the Texans on the ropes. They had a chance, and unfortunately, injuries really continue to stack up for a team that's already not very talented. And at the end of the day, Texans were able to pull that one out. So Texans now 5-5, and we have 2 games against them, and they have a very real defense, right? Very good defense. So at the end of the day, man, you got to win the division to get into the playoffs. That's first and foremost. But with what we've seen this year, with where we've been this year, there are people still saying, hey, we're just worried about being able to win the division, and I understand that. But at the same time, having that 1 seed, getting that extra bye week would be real nice, right? There's no telling what it's going to look like for DeForest Buckner. He went and got some stem cell treatment, and so what's his return? When is that going to happen, right? You got to assume it's not going to be in that 4-week window, right? That's what I'm assuming. It's not going to be in the 4-week window. So if you get an extra bye week, right, going into the playoffs, get an extra week to rest, get an extra week to decompress a little bit before you get into that final stretch run of those last few weeks trying to make a run to the Super Bowl. And that's going to be important. So you got to be able to win division games. We have 4 division games in the last 7, right, plus the Chiefs, plus the Seahawks, who looked human against the Rams, right, a team that the Colts should have beat. Sam Darnold in that offense, they looked human. So, and then, of course, the 49ers, who are very well coached. They get Brock Purdy back, and they put a bunch of points on the board. And so, going to be interesting to see what happens for the Colts as we go through the rest of the year. But the top of the AFC is a very tight race right now, and you can't discount the Jaguars, who, again, we have a 2-game lead on the Jaguars. If we squander either one of those games or both of those games, like, all of a sudden Jaguars have the head-to-head, 2-game lead is gone. Like, we can't let the lead in the division evaporate. And I know that the Jaguars do have some difficult games at the end of their schedule as well, but with what we're looking at, it's again, Colts got to come out, got to handle business. That starts with the Chiefs. So that's the objective. Come out week by week, handle your business, right? We're seemingly getting healthy, I would assume. Tyquan Lewis, Samson Ebicom, Charvarius Ward, these guys are all going to be back. Everybody that's dealing with a little this, a little of that, I would assume these guys are going to be good coming into the game, right? A little bit of rest, a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of rehab. And, I expect us to be pretty healthy. Come back into this, I expect the defense to be really good and to be able to perform really well. Charvarius Ward, right, before the concussion was playing really well. So hopefully he can come back, continue to be who he was. And, it's a concussion. He's been out for 4 weeks. I feel like he should be fine as he comes back. And then having Sauce Gardner on the other side, Kenny Moore, who, with what he's been dealing with this season, right, having a week to rest up without having to miss a game could be very good for him as well. So I like where we're at, but again, it's about handling business. Coming out of the bye week, handle our business. That's what this is all about. In order to stay in the race at the top of the AFC and to even have a chance at having that 1 seed, right? Winning the division first and foremost, but getting that 1 seed, that very coveted 1 seed, is going to be incredibly important. As we go into the playoffs, you get that 1 seed, you're guaranteed every playoff game you play going to be at home until the Super Bowl. So that's of course the objective, is to get there and to make sure first and foremost we get in the playoffs. So you guys let me know what you're thinking after the week that was, with the Colts on a bye and with the way everything's looking. How do you feel about the Colts' chances to win the division? How do you feel about the Colts' chances to get the number 1 seed? Where are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Colts as we come out of this bye week? You guys, please let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section. Would love to hear from you guys. And of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. Of course, appreciate you stopping by for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.